Welcome, Classy. Thank you so much for subscribing and following Metric Apo. Let's keep on sharing to friends and families. Turn on your notification buttons and keep posted. We are still in term 3 stuff for geography, Great Cove Life Science, Great Cove Geography. Uh, Today we are going to talk about maize production in South Africa and how does it impact on food security. I'm sure you know it's one of the quite important units that we need to understand that food security is in South Africa remain a challenge, and it is very important that from our academic or from our syllabus and exams, it is quite needed or expected of us to understand what is food security and how does it affect our livelihoods as South Africans. How does it affect production, economic development, and many other factors that we need to relate and explain with regards to uh, maize as a crop, and how is it being affected by various factors in terms of environmental, economic, and political. Generally, these factors, they basically relate to agriculture in general as well. So maize production in South Africa is actually influenced by a number of serious or very complex, it's not by a complex interplay of factors, a number of factors that are involved in terms of that, some beneficial and others are detrimental. We are saying factors that are we are saying factors that are affecting maize production in South Africa. We are saying dangerous factors. These are also we can say uh, dangerous factors. That's what we mean by detrimental. Dangerous factors. We need to understand again key advantages include the suitable temperatures. South Africa, geographically, the temperatures which we have or which are experienced in South Africa are good for maize production, particularly in the summer rainfall regions. We have got summer rainfall regions that we can talk about in that regard, and the potential for long-term storage, for long storage due to low moisture content. I'm sure you've heard, we are quite aware of the granaries, or we have got the storage facilities where maize is being stored or where maize is stored after harvesting. Obviously, of course, conversely, challenges include water scarcity. We are saying, however, we have got problems of water scarcity, particularly in arid regions, which are experiencing very small rainfall totals. Arid, we are saying they have small rainfall totals. They have very small rainfall. We are saying these are regions with low rainfall totals, which in terms of agriculture, rainfall, basically it impacts on production. So we have got infertile soils due to erosion. I'm sure we understand the massive runoff waters that are experienced in South African landscape. The South African landscape, it's actually quite undulating, it's quite slopey, that results in massive erosion, which is affecting our arable lands, which actually reduces the fertility of our agricultural land and high production cost. Maize production also comes with, or it is a production process which has got extreme production cost stemming from imported inputs. We import also the inputs, which might include the pesticides and also even herbicides and other related farm mechanization and farm implements that we can talk about. Additionally, factors like pests, we have got pests, diseases, and climate change further affect maize production and profitability. We are saying in South Africa, maize production remained one of the, it is actually one of the main cash crop that is produced or that is grown within our farms, irrespective of the various challenges that we might talk about. It is quite still necessary and profitable for farmers to keep on producing and also investing in what in maize production. So let us look at factors that are favoring maize production, factors that are promoting favoring or promoting maize production, factors that are promoting maize production. So let's go through them. One, we are saying favorable temperatures. Favorable temperatures, that is South Africa's relatively high summer temperatures, especially in the regions of KZN, are well suited for maize production or maize cultivation. Maize cultivation, it actually requires high temperatures. These high temperatures would enable the production of maize to be quite profitable or to be a viable business. We can talk about these relative high temperatures in summer that are experienced, for example, in KZN. Obviously, such temperatures would promote a healthy, viable yields that can be obtained from such farms or from such regions. So we can talk about long storage potential. So we have got one, favorable temperatures. Two, we can talk about low storage potential. Maize has low moisture content. Maize, basically, when it is harvested or during the production of maize production in the fields, what happens is the maize stalks, when it is ripe, it is left to dry. The maize stalks, they turn brownish, they dry, they take all the fertility and juice from the maize stalks, and then it is also harvested. And when it is harvested, it is actually separated from the maize stalks and everything. So what happens there is that the storage of maize, it has got a long storage potential because of low moisture, which might result in molds. So we have got the advantage of storage of maize, like to say, long lasting storage, again, which might also not cause what moths, which is advantageous for both domestic and export consumption. So we are saying, in terms of our local population, our people can as well be able to depend and use maize that that may have been produced even 10 years ago, or some more than 10 years ago, produced many more years ago. Many more years ago. So in that case, what we are referring to here is that maize production in South Africa, it actually maize storage is quite good because of the storage facilities and also the low moisture content, which is promoting the dependence and use on domestic and also on international trade, where we can also say that sold, it can be sold internationally. It can be sold internationally. That is trading. We are talking about another factor that is to do with the suitable climate in parts of the country. The summer rainfall regions, particularly in the northwest, provide sufficient moisture for maize production. Remember to say, maize crop. It is one of the delicate crops again. So our spread of rainfall is quite good, especially in the northeast, in the northeast, which is providing enough moisture for maize production. So therefore, it cannot fail towards the times when it is starting to make the maize cobs and so forth. So we have got also available land. Available land also is another factor. Land, well, land availability can be a constraint in some areas. South Africa still has significant arable land suitable for maize production. We are talking about land that is available for what? For agricultural production. Arable, we are saying suitable for agricultural production. Suitable for agricultural uh, suitable for agricultural production, that is an arable land. An arable land is a land that can be productive or that can be used in terms of farming, which can be used in terms of crop production and so forth and so forth. So what we are saying is we do have quite a lot of land that is available in South Africa that can be used for agricultural purposes, which is profitable and so forth. So in that regard, we are saying factors that are promoting maize production in South Africa, amongst other factors, include favorable temperatures, long storage potential, so the suitable climate in the some parts of our country in the northeast provinces, as well land availability. That is quite important in terms of maize production. Let's look into factors hindering maize production. What are the factors that are causing failure or that are limiting production of maize? Water scarcity. Water scarcity, large portion of South Africa explains low rainfall. Rainfall totals, we are talking about erratic rainfall, erratic rainfall totals are not suitable for maize production, and then making water availability a significant limiting factor, especially in drier western region. So we are saying in the western regions, the water availability is what is very low. So if it is like that, obviously we do have maize production in other places, unlike others, that would cause production in areas where there is low rainfall total in fertile soils, which is also, we talked about the soil erosion. We talked about the soil erosion there. Uh, Soil erosion, particularly in areas with steep slopes. I'm sure we can talk about the KZN landscape. It has also led to reduced soil fertility, impacting on maize yields. So massive runoff water that South Africa experiences significantly affect yield production in terms of maize. Basically, in that case, we can just talk about the massive waste of topsoils into the into water reservoirs and dams and so forth. As a result of runoff water from the arable land, it reduces the soil fertility. Hence, maize production cannot be done in loam soils that are that are infertile. So what we need to understand is that maize as a crop is quite demanding. It is quite demanding with regards to soil fertility. So therefore, we need to understand that. And then high production cost, which we talk about the cost of imported inputs, which include fertilizers, we talk about pesticides, and also even fuel, also drive up production cost, making it a challenging production process to farmers, and it remained quite competitive. What we are saying is that high production cost, even in terms of mechanization, the machinery that is used in maize production, they are quite expensive. We talk about all those different implements, farm implements that are needed there. They are quite expensive, which at the end of the day, they negatively impact on what? On maize production and reduces the profitability for those who might have soldiers through. So we can talk also of pests and diseases, insects such as locusts. We have got maize stalk borers, which also eat the maize stalks, such that the maize production becomes less efficient because sometimes these maize stock borders they affect the maize stocks before uh, the maize crops are ready and mature. So this causes substantial crop damage, necessitating costly control measures like the pesticides. So what happens is that they cause or promote they further worsen and promote cost control measures. These promote uh, costly control measures such as pesticides, which further increases. Uh, we are saying this further increasing, further increasing the maize production cost. So we need to understand it that to say all measures that are put in place to reduce these problems or to control pests and diseases, they are feathering or they are stretching, they are further stretching the already strained farmers from producing good harvest. We also have climate change, which we talked about, small rain, low rainfall totals, low rainfall totals, increased temperatures, and extreme weather events due to climate change pose significant threats to maize production. I'm sure you can remember and you relate to issues of climate change in Africa, where we are talking about global warming and even the seasonal changes. Our seasons are no longer starting and ending according to the natural standards and pattern that we used to know. We have got our rainfall starting very late in the year, and also seasons and months that we used to have rainfall, they are no longer there. They are no longer like that. So in that case, farmers are being also confused and strained in terms of identifying the suitable months and times when production must take place. So that actually climate change remains a challenge. And then lack of access to inputs and markets. Inputs, mostly to smallholder farmers, often face challenge in accessing quality seeds. These quality seeds, because of either they are very expensive, unaffordable, and affordable. We are talking about fertilizers and extension services. Extension service, we are talking about agricultural, agric, agric work extension workers, agric extension workers. These agric extension workers, they actually have to provide services to farmers in terms of land use and management, even also cropping, and as well as difficulties in reaching markets to sell their produce. These also difficulties in reaching markets, these are to do with poor infrastructure, poor infrastructure, infrastructure in in some previous homelands in rural areas. In rural areas, poor infrastructure in rural areas also causes farmers to fail to transport their products to good markets which are found in towns and cities. So in that case, there is a serious problem with regards to income, in regards to profits the farmers are enjoying and receiving. We talk about infrastructure deficiencies as a point on its own. Infrastructure deficiencies or infrastructure uh, unavailabilities. So now we talk about poor roads, limited access to electricity. Our electricity in South Africa, we quite a lot of times have load shedding, which will affect irrigation systems. Load shedding, which would affect even uh, other related farm practices that would need or depend on electricity. And then we talk about water. We talk about inadequate storage facilities, where sometimes farmers they don't have the storage facilities in their own farms, and these both hinder production and distribution. So at the end of the day, they negatively impact on maize production. They negatively impact on maize production. So farmers are not able to produce to their full potential because of such limitations: access to electricity, access to water, inadequate storage facilities. When the maize cobs are harvested, they need to be well stored. If after every other, even after they are harvested, they need granaries, they need storage tankers where they should be kept. Some of the farmers they don't have such because of also lack of financing and stuff. So such also becomes uh, serious challenges again. And then farmer, we talk about farmer attributes and knowledge. Some farmers we have got to understand and appreciate that limited knowledge about best farming practices, including appropriate fertilizers to use. We talk about application and pest management can negatively impact yields. So knowledge is always the best thing to in terms of success in production. So some of our farmers, they are just peasant farmers or subsistence farmers who basically started agriculture because of lack of access to other means of life survival. So knowledge still remains remains a challenge whereby they don't understand the best farming practices. We can talk about various farming practices that might also mitigate the other challenges that we've identified up there, which we can talk about stream bank cultivation. We talk about the water storage what you call contours and so forth, which would help in terms of harvesting of water, such that the maize fields cannot be affected, cannot be negatively or cannot be seriously affected by what? By rainfall totals. We talk about even the application of fertilizers. We talk about the massive loss of soils from the arable land. These are controllable factors or controllable challenges which sometimes people they are not able to control because of lack of knowledge. So knowledge is very important. We are talking about good farming practices that will help to improve the farms and also all these. So we need to understand those factors in their full sense. Let's look into the contribution of maize to the South African economy. Importance of maize. Importance of what? Importance of maize. I'm sure we understand that we can talk about food security. Maize is the staple food for large portion of South African population. This is an African diet that we are to understand that maize, it's especially white maize, which is used for maize meal and primary ingredient in porridge. I'm sure this we can agree as a class that we depend strongly on porridge and also in terms of maize, what to call in terms of the soft and also the pulp requirements that we talk about. So maize industry plays a vital role. It plays a vital role in ensuring food security by producing or providing reliable supply of this essential food source. So we have got maize industry, which provides mostly we have got Louisa, we have got white maize star, we have got all these types of maize meals that we have in their various types and brands, which are produced in trying to match the tasty and consumer preferences of our South African population. Hence, they are very important in that case. Economic contribution is another advantage. The economic contribution or the importance of maize in South Africa. it significant is we are saying maize contributes significantly to the agricultural sector gross value, averaging at 15%. Remember, we talked about the contribution of agriculture in in terms of South African gross domestic product. So we are saying 15% comes from maize production. So the maize industry is a major employer. We have got creation of employment with thousands of jobs created in farming, milling, and feed production and other related industries. We have got even quite a lot of them. We can talk about chicken production, poultry. We talk about piggery. We talk about what? All these various types of projects or the farming practices that we can talk about, which can be animal. They are also heavily dependent on the inputs that are coming from maize production. So that remains an economic advantage because we talk about stock feeds production, where people are employed, employment of people in the farms, employment of people in terms of milling industries. All those are quite important factors that we cannot override. Maize is actively traded in South African, is on the South African Future Exchange, and we talk about contributing to market activity and price stability. So, in terms of trade, it's an economic advantage that we have. It promotes trade. Maize, it promotes trade, which we talk about creation of wealth, creation of money, creation of livelihoods. So South Africa is a major maize producer and exporter, earning value exchange. We talk about foreign exchange. We talk about earning of most needed foreign currency. So South Africa, it earns the most. We are saying the foreign exchange or foreign market or international trade that we are talking about. It is one of the maize is one of the products that is a foreign exchange earner. South Africa is earning foreign exchange or foreign currency because of trading and producing maize in selling it to other international or international other national international markets. So we need to understand and appreciate that as well. Maize industry provides market for various inputs like fertilizers. We have got a chain, value chain now, production chain, the production of fertilizers. We talk about the pesticides and machinery that we talked about. These refer to farm implements. The farm implements, the tractors, the combine harvesters, and so forth, the maize shares and stuff, supporting other sectors of the economy. So, other sectors of the economy are also sustained because of the maize industry that is also providing an extended market to the production taking place in fertilizers, in pesticides, as well as farm implements production, farm mechanization. All those are taking place because of that. Well, let's talk about downstream industries or related industries. Downstream or related related industries. Related industries. Maize serves a crucial serves as a crucial raw material for other industries, including the milling industry. We talked about that, which produces the maize meal as a staple food. That is quite true. Animal feeds, yellow maize is mainly key component in animal feeds production, livestock and poultry. These are produced or these are sustained as a result of the yellow maize that is being produced there. We talk about white milling maize is used in the production of starchy, sweeteners, and other products, which is also other related industries or other related activities. We are saying maize-based products are also used in paper. We can talk about paint. We can talk about textile. We also have medication or medicine and other various food products. So, in such a sense, we are talking about the contribution of maize production in South Africa. The contribution of maize in South African, the contribution of maize production in South Africa, impact of maize production. We can just talk about this maize area planted varies annually based on weather and market conditions. These are quite variable factors, but on average, around 2.5 to 2.75 million hectares of maize are planted each year. We are just criticizing the production. How is it going? Small scale farmers also contribute maize production with approximately 350,000 to 500,000 hectares that are dedicated to small scale farmers, and genetically modified maize hybrids are adopted in South Africa, which we can talk about 85% of hybrid. We are talking about the certified seeds, the certified seeds. And then we talk about increase, which also leads to increased productivity and reduced environmental impact. I'm sure I remember to say we are talking about eco-agriculture now. Eco-agriculture, farming and producing with the understanding of our surrounding environment. Maize production is sensitive to environmental factors such as weather patterns, soil fertility, and infestations, which we also identified in our previous and beginning, in the introduction there. So what we need to understand is that there are also challenges and opportunities in terms of maize production. Challenges, fluctuations in global maize prices. It relates to international trade. It relates to international trade uh, of maize. You understand? So fluctuation prices we are talking about in the prices are unstable prices, which are affected because of various international fiscal requirements or fiscal related factors. Prices, they fluctuate, they are very dynamic. It can be because of foreign exchange rates, it can be because of international trading barriers, it can be because of every other national policies that also relates to international trade. So those are also challenges that we can relate to. Infrastructure challenges, particularly in transportation, we talked about that, and logistics. We are talking about the locomotion, the movement of maize, which also impact on international or export capacity. Environmental factors, we talked about climate change and pest. All these are also challenges. Well, let's look into opportunities that exist. We are talking about improving productivity through research and innovation. Obviously, we are talking about bringing in new technologies, bringing in new uh, means of production that are quite viable and supportive to the current environmental conditions as well as population, developing sustainable and climate smart agricultural practices. These are quite important. We are talking about sustainable, as to say, they are able to meet the demands of both current current population and also generations to come, future generations. That is what we mean by what? By sustainable agricultural practice, and then strengthening infrastructure to enhance export competitiveness. Our movement, our trade, it cannot be ignored that we live in a global economy right now. We live in a global economy where trade is not only focused on national boundaries or within the borders of South Africa. We need to have infrastructure that supports the movement of agricultural produce to other international markets. that government must also intervene. Government support structures need to be in place in order to strengthen the infrastructure in order to remain also accessible, accessing international markets and also remaining meeting the international standards, which would make South Africa remain, which would make South Africa a, a central hub in terms of maize production. Food security and insecurity in South Africa. I said again that we need to look at this food security and insecurity. Food security exists when all people, we are saying, what is food security? It applies when all people, we are talking about all, as everyone, we are talking about everyone class, everyone, all people, at all times, at all times, at all times, have physical, they have physical, they have social, they have got economic access to what? Sufficient, enough. We are talking about sufficient, which means to say enough and nutritious food. That means their dietary needs. In this case, it must be nutritious and then meeting the dietary needs, and food preferences for an active and healthy life. What we are saying is that in terms of food security, a nation must have food that is available to all its people. It must be available all the times in terms of the physical, social, and economic access to sufficient, which is that means to say safe. Whenever people need food, they are able to do that. And also meeting their dietary needs. People have got different health conditions and even preferences, which might require them to eat different types of foods. So those different types of foods have to be readily available to the people in order for them to in order for them to remain healthy and active. So food insecurity obviously is the opposite of what we just said. Insecurity is the direct opposite, which is lack of constant access to what? To enough and nutritious food to support a healthy life. So in this case, we are talking about lack, we are talking about inadequate. We are talking about inadequate, uh, insufficient, we are saying and nutritious food that support a healthy life. So if people cannot be able to meet that, we are defining that as what? As food insecurity. It is known as what? Food insecurity. Food insecurity. So let's look into food security. Let's look into food